Welcome to Stargate SG1 for the first time, still not a Star Trek podcast. My name is Jeff Aiken, and I'm watching Stargate SG1 for the first time.
And I'm Brent Allen, and I'm watching Stargate SG1 for the 47th time. But for the first time, I am looking for what Stargate is trying to teach us through its show. You know, those lessons that sci-fi does so well, where they hold up a mirror to society, give us hope that things can be better in the future, or maybe even just teach us how to be better human beings to one another.
Let's get right into this episode. There, but for the grace of God. If I remember right,
yes,
I think this is going to be a Daniel-focused episode where he's going to travel some space-time continuum. This is going to be the It's a Wonderful Life version for Stargate, right?
That's what you said, yeah.
If you and had you, Daniel, done this sort of a thing. So we're going to find out what it's about. But before we watch, Brent, why don't you tell us about this episode?
Well, Jeff, this is the 20th episode of Season 1, There But For the Grace of God. Original air date, February 20th, 1998. This is continuing on with no breaks since they came back from their season break after Halloween the year prior. Jeff, this is one of those episodes that I say all sci-fi shows do at some point or another. You'll see what I mean. It should come as no surprise to you then that I tell you that this episode was written by a guy named David Kemper. Now, surprise may not be the word. Apathy may be the correct word, because you're like, who the heck is David Kemper? Well, David Kemper does write 2 episodes. This is the first of 2 episodes for SG1 he's going to write, but his sci-fi street cred, Jeff, it's pretty established.
Yeah.
He has served as writer on other genre shows like The Outer Limits, Sequest, Farscape. He served as a producer for both Sequest and Farscape.
Wow.
But where we are going to note him as the writer of 3 episodes of Star Trek. One of them from Voyager, Season 1, Time and Again. Maybe not really the best episode, but hey, it's really hard to write those early season episodes. It wasn't awful.
No.
You know,
just an
just
episode.
There. Right. But he also wrote from seasons 2 and 3 of Next Generation. He wrote Peak Performance, which that's the one where he got the great line from Picard where he says it's possible to commit no mistakes and still lose. And that's not weakness, that's life, Mr. Data.
And you got Stratagema guy going against Data, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that guy. And then he also wrote the season 3 episode, The Enemy. That's the one where Geordi is trapped with a Romulan down on the planet.
Oh,
down
yeah.
on planet Hell, as they said. Yeah. So he wrote those 2 episodes, or 3 episodes, actually, I guess, of Star Trek. And he's got several other credits to his name.
Wow.
Now, in this episode, though, Jeff, we are going to establish a new fact about gate travel, or gate technology, as it were. It is going to become canon in this episode. We're going to hang on to this for a very long time. So be on the lookout for that. I'm not going to tell you what it is. You'll catch it. It'll be something new that we've never heard before. In the in-universe timeline, this episode is taking place almost exactly 1 year from Children of the Gods.
Okay.
All right. Which is almost 2 years from the events of the film, just so you know. So we're there, Jeff, winding up close here to the end of the season.
Yeah.
Right. You had a theory way back at the end of Children of the Gods as to how the season was going to play out. Remind us real quick what that was.
At the end of Children of the Gods, Daniel's really specific when he's like, I'm going to be back in 1 year from today to come and get Sha'Rey and Skara. After that, you rubble this Stargate and shut her down. Here we are, like you said, 1 year later. It's a season later. That's where I think the season is going to end, with him going back to Abydos and trying to get Sha'Rey and Skara.
All right. Well, we'll see if that's what's going on, but that is where we are in the timeline of what's happening here. With that, Jeff, why don't we go ahead and jump into this episode, There But For the Grace of God. If you're joining us for the first time out there, first of all, welcome. And the way this works is Jeff and I are going to watch this episode together right now, immediately. And if you're watching us on YouTube, you're going to see the reaction video to Jeff and I watching this episode. If you'd like to see the full unedited reaction, head over to patreon.com/Babylon5 first, because we are unifying all of our stuff under that one banner over there. And you can catch the full unedited version over there.
And if you're listening to this on a podcasting app, the audio version, we're going to skip the entire episode. We're going to join you on the other side And that's when I'm going to share my for the first time reaction. And Brent's going to share any of those like sci-fi type messages that he may or may not have gotten out of this one. So Brent, let's do it.
Let's go. This one. There we go.
It's good when it works.
Here we go. It is a lot easier doing this not in the same room.
Isn't that
you
wild?
You wouldn't think it would be, but it is a lot easier doing this separately and having each piece available to manipulate, not trying to crosstalk and all that sort of stuff. So anyway, here we go. Lion roar.
That sounds gross. It's like stirring macaroni.
Ooh, maybe that's what it is. Like in the Foley room.
You're right.
Good morning, campers.
What is it about sci-fi and tiny little flashlights?
Yes. Well, it looks so good on camera. Look at all this place, man. I always thought this looked like that dude. Remember Comtria guy from the last episode?
Yeah.
This just looks like his place.
You ever seen anything like this before?
We must return to Earth as quickly as possible.
Why? What is it?
It is the symbol of Koroshnai.
Koroshnai.
It is for any Goa'uld or Jaffa who may pass through the gate. Loosely translated, it means turn back.
We're out of here.
Give me a second to throw all this into my bag.
Right? I'm just gonna steal their stuff.
Well, they're not around. Is it stealing if they're all dead? Ask Indiana Jones about that.
He doesn't know that yet, though. This belongs in a museum.
It's that library gimmick from the original series. Was it the Cloudminders, I think?
Actually, I always thought this thing looked like the Guardian of Forever.
I was just thinking with the little, like, because they had the little discs in that one, and he's got the little thing. Yeah. I do refuse to call the Guardian whatever they named him in Discovery, by the way.
Guys, I need a hand with this thing. It's too heavy for me to
They're
move.
gone. He just transported somewhere.
Back.
Gate's dead.
Oh, I really hate it when this happens.
This literally was Daniel's perspective from Fire and Water a few episodes ago. Like,
right? It's powered up. Okay, so it's not dead.
Close the iris.
whoa.
General, what's this all about?
Hammond all like army.
You see stars anywhere on my uniform?
Colonel, he says he's on SG1.
Colonel?
Unauthorized incoming travelers.
Who the hell are you?
It's our alternate timeline episode.
I told you. Every sci-fi show does one of these, right?
I need to see Colonel O'Neill.
You mean General O'Neill?
Uh-oh, this has got to be a messed up timeline if he's the general.
And Hammond's the colonel.
All right.
Yeah. Oh, he gone. I like that they set him down to do like an MRI to check for a Goa'uld. Literally, an X-ray could do that.
Yeah, or just look at his belly, right? Look for the little T thing.
No, the scar on the neck.
Oh, like in
No, because you're thinking of Jaffa.
Right. Yep.
No, but to be a Goa'uld host, yeah, you'd get the thing in the neck.
Maybe in this timeline, they don't know that you can just X-ray. Maybe, or they found a new kind of Goa'uld that can. I don't know. Totally making stuff up.
Hello.
I went through on the first mission through the Stargate to Abydos. And unless the last 2 years have been some wacky dream, I am a member of SG1.
Not as far as I'm concerned.
What?
Doesn't Star Trek exist in this universe? Like as a show?
You did.
I admit.
Sure.
You referenced your work occasion.
I feel like
I even went to meet you at one of your seminars.
I did the math. He should be able to do the
I
math.
said no.
I did.
You were quite rude, actually.
I was. At least the Air Force made you retire. You were supposed to be at home living happily ever after with Ernest.
Uh-oh. That's a
You
name.
touched a nerve.
The man you were supposed to marry in 1945.
How did you know? That's always the thing, right, Jeff?
I've only got
Is
50% of the list.
you say something that only I could know, or there's no way you could know that. And now that you said that, now I automatically believe. Like that's always the thing.
I was thinking though she'd be like, yeah, there's no Ernest never went to camp for me. There's no 1945 Ernest in my life. Like everything's off, but they got to have that thing that makes her go like, oh, you are the guy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it does make you wonder at what point things in this timeline started, diverging.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, I don't know if you heard Hammond said to General O'Neill here, he said, we've got about half of them evacuated to Beta Site.
Beta Site. Okay.
Beta Site. So here we go.
We've lost Washington and Philadelphia, sir.
I'm sorry, what do you mean by lost?
Are they at war with the Goa'uld? Is that what's going on?
It's a great wig she's got on. There's some mad hair extensions or something. He looks good with longer hair.
Is his personality more in line with the Jack from the movie?
You mean
this one, or am I just reading into that?
Yeah, I'd say he's more in line with Jack from the movie.
Destroyed city.
The Goa'ulds?
Ships
I like
appeared
how they
4 days
started
ago.
in Europe.
They have slowly begun systematically annihilating all signs of civilization.
What is it?
I have no idea.
You
I
said
do.
You touched a mirror.
Well, actually, I touched that thing first.
Maybe this is what controls it.
And like a scientist, I
there
just
was
touched the shimmering that I didn't know what it
Surge.
was.
Like getting electrical shock just for a second.
Lisa Jafar, you say, is on SG1 with you.
Yes, but I couldn't find them. It was like they were just gone. So I figured that maybe they left without me. So
I like her sense of
dialed in
curiosity.
Cassandra,
Like
so
she's
I
asking
threw
good
in.
questions. She's
What
really
the hell are
in.
they doing down there?
Catherine's a solid person. She really is.
Chevron 1 encoded.
Damn it, Daniel.
Yes, sir.
I guess we got the same Chevron guy working. That's good. That's reassuring.
Sir, isn't our mission to get the Genesis list through to the Beta Site?
I think we'll try to stop the attack on Earth first.
You're sending a nuclear weapon to Chulak?
Send the bomb.
Proceed with deployment.
Looks like he's civilian though. He's got a tie and stuff. He's not in his military uniform.
There's definitely a mixture, more of a mixture here of civilian, military.
Proceed with evacuation until that next warhead is ready.
You know that there are innocent human beings on most of the Goa'uld planets, don't you?
Unless this man has more information we can use, I don't want to see him again.
This isn't happening. This is not.
As far as O'Neill's concerned, all he's doing is asking questions, breaking up, threatening morale, things like that. Makes sense.
Well, it sounds like I theoretically, possibly, actually found one.
One what?
What Sam said, alternate reality, a parallel
Thank you for
plane.
explaining
I
it.
mean, wouldn't that explain
Right.
why everything here is the same? But
I'm in the Stargate multiverse.
different. I mean,
Okay, the theory is that there are an infinite number of alternate realities. Some of them are very different, and some are almost identical.
that has to be what this is.
Cannot evade. Surface radar is tracking.
You're gonna blow up Air Force One.
Contact points on 435.
It's one of their big ones.
Look how fast it's moving.
Where's Jack Ryan when you need him?
Hey, guess what? Vice President just got a promotion.
Well, here pretty soon they're going to get all the way down to the Secretary of Education. Have President
Heading straight
Rosalind
for us.
step up.
Confirm, Airman.
Trajectory confirmed. ETA 1 minute.
Kiefer
This is where the Stargate and Battlestar Galactica timelines converge.
Intelligence has confirmed that the enemy ships have the firepower to reach us even this far underground.
We're stuck here as long as the gate's under attack.
It's not gonna fire.
What?
Sheridan had bigger.
He had two of them.
It's landing.
Once the Stargate.
Yeah.
If they can get that Stargate open to Chulak or somewhere else, and they just got an endless supply of troops.
They must have assigned a number to each symbol on the Stargate. It's a code.
So let's figure
All we
that
need to do
out.
is figure out which symbol the aliens used to represent the number 1 and start counting from there.
Well, the only unique symbol they would have is the point of origin for 233.
But that
Which
symbol may not
Daniel
even be on our
knows.
Stargate.
Except I have the alien gate on tape.
What?
Because I used my little camcorder that was on SP speed. Standard play.
Gate is off.
It's a very old person thing to say.
Start dialing the gate for the Beta Site.
Chevron 1's already encoded.
If we can dial in before the Goa'ulds can reestablish a wormhole, we'll be able to get out of here.
Thank you for letting us know, Sam.
Chevron 2 encoded.
Can they dial in here once we started dialing out?
I'm pretty sure the chevron that just
Seventh chevron
encoded
locked
was
to
the one
stop
for
an
Earth as the
incoming
origin
wormhole.
point.
Really?
Chevron 3
I'm sure it was
encoded.
the thing with the little circle. I now want to go back just to see. Tell me that's the gate.
Totally, because you got
There's
the little
yeah, you
chunk
got
and
the-
the dot
yeah.
on top.
But that's only number 2, it says.
Chevron 2 encoded.
Can they dial
They
in here
thought
once
we
started
wouldn't
dialing out?
notice.
Yes, we have to get the 7th chevron locked in order to stop an incoming wormhole.
God's Tilk.
He's back. Well,
He's here.
I like the music cue is from Children of the Gods when
This
Tilk was in
has
his
to be
thing.
the point of origin.
That's cool.
You see his little top knot he's got on? It's like the equivalent of Spock's beard.
Right.
Is Tilk's top
He's got it
knot.
up here.
Yeah.
Jack.
Good luck. Oh no. She get a kiss?
Oh yeah.
No. I don't like this. Okay. It's a brotherly, sisterly hug. I'm okay with that.
I take it they're not engaged in your reality.
Oh.
No.
Not brother or sister.
No.
You're Teal'c, right?
Addryc.
Got quite a story to tell you.
I don't think I like the top knot.
Airman, we're going to need all the help we can get out there. We should set the base auto-destruct sequence to go off 2 minutes past the estimated window of opportunity for us to open the Stargate. If the Goa'ulds want this place in one piece, I intend to disappoint them.
It's another thing they do in all the sci-fi. We're gonna blow the place up instead of
What
giving
sort
it
of
to you.
deception is this?
Look, I know this
check.
sounds insane.
Jeff doesn't like Teal'c with hair.
But
Yeah, I don't
you
think I
have a
do.
chance to change
Not
things
that hair.
in his world. We just need a little time, that's all. This guy Daniel says the Teal'c in his world is a good man.
Aren't you a good man?
That he betrayed the Goa'uld for a chance to free his people, to free his family, your wife, your son, Ryan.
Yeah. Okay, there you go. There you
Look,
go.
he said the word, right? He
Yep.
said the thing that you couldn't possibly know unless
Received word from my home world. You sent a weapon of destruction there through your Stargate.
you killed my
Ryak
son.
received it. Rolled
My
right into him.
family
To
are
the
dead.
face.
I'm not only gonna kill you, but I'm gonna blow you away. No.
You two better get it.
Now it's General Hammond.
Catherine.
No arguments, Doctor. They need you at the beta site.
What about you?
As soon as I start the dial-in process, I'll join you. Go.
No, you
This mirror really is a
won't.
doorway between our dimensions. I might be
You're
able to send help
sacrificing
to you from my
yourself.
reality, or even have you come through to my Earth.
Wait a second. If that device you brought is a remote control to the mirror, then you may need it. You help reunite me with Ernest in the other world. I guess in the grand scheme of things, we're even.
Fair enough. Also, he was a naked, raving lunatic, but I mean, you got reunited, so
He doesn't have to tell you that.
it's not important. Not germane to the story. This story. Hammond's down. Did Chevron guy just become the general?
2 minutes!
We're on Mirror Universe rules.
I surrender. I have information that can help Apophis. There is technology he will want to know about. This is a remote control to an interdimensional portal. I can tell Apophis how to find it. I also wish to blow us all to hell. Time's up!
Now Sam's gone. We're down to Jack and Daniel and Catherine. And then there was Daniel.
Auto destruct in 1 minute.
Better lock those chevrons in. Go!
Oh,
7.
What's that counting? What's going on?
I like how this is another
Have a
sci-fi
nice
thing.
day.
We always get the explosion.
Yeah.
Like we always get that spot right there. But we can't afford the explosion, so we're just gonna do a dip to white.
Yeah. Big light, not from the outside. This isn't a movie. We can't give
Right.
you everything. So he's fine? Like it just
Oh,
grazed
no,
him? Or
he's got a
maybe-
burn in the shoulder. I like that he just left it on.
And just like that, he's back.
Nothing.
But he's not back like at the same moment he left. Like this would be however many days later.
What the hell is this?
It appears to have been caused by a staff weapon.
This looks like a Stargate address.
All right, let's get him back to Earth. We're all in very big trouble. They're coming.
They're coming.
Okay.
All right, Jeff. So that was there, but for the grace of God, go I or them. What'd you think?
Quick question on this one: Is this a beloved episode in the community?
I don't think I've ever heard anybody actually discuss this episode ever.
That makes sense to me because literally nothing happened. They're on this planet PR3233 or whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
Daniel touches a mirror, poof, goes off, has this big wild adventure in an alternate reality where everybody died. And what I loved about the alternate reality, Teal'c wasn't moved. He was blown. He was shocked. How do you know these things?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you know these things this way? Cool. Boom, you're dead. Total badass Jaffa. Like,
Right.
I liked that. But then he comes back and he's back. They're coming. They're coming, he says. That's how it ends, right? They're coming.
Yep.
We know. Like I feel like I have known that since like episode 2. And now we know.
But now they're coming. Like
now
they're on the
not
doorstep.
just coming.
Yeah.
Right. It's just but are they? So here
yeah.
I feel like this episode didn't know if it wanted to be alternate reality mirror universe or if it wanted to be time travel, alternate time sort of a thing. Because his whole thing, right? So he finally convinces them that this alternate reality thing is real and, you know, he's a legitimate person with a different background. And then he says, hey, you can't go fight the Goa'uld. You have to point me to this other planet that I was on before so you can save my Earth.
Yeah.
His Earth,
not
their Earth.
Yep.
He basically is asking them, like already, what is it Jack said? 1.5 billion dead.
Yeah.
Already. And they've just hit Europe and they're hitting the East Coast and heading west.
Yeah.
1.5 billion dead. And he's like, hey, let the rest die so I can save my Earth. And then Jack's like, okay, I'll do that. Really?
Well, sort of. I 100% know exactly where you are because I was there the first several times I watched this episode. Having seen it, can I correct a few things for you on that?
Yeah.
Because you're right. A first-time watcher looking through these eyes, that's exactly what you think, because it's what I thought too. All right. But the idea here, okay, do you remember the Voyager episode where the ship got split and there were two different Voyagers? Hurricane had to go back and forth, and ultimately one of the two Voyagers had to be destroyed in order to save the other.
Yeah.
Right? And basically you're like, hey, we're already jacked up. We're done. This isn't going to work. So let us go and you guys can at least flourish and get home. That's kind of what happened here was this alternate Earth that Daniel was on. The Goa'uld were already there. The Goa'uld were already wiping everybody out. They weren't going to win that one. They weren't going to come back. The best they could have done is either let some of their people escape if they can get the outgoing wormhole there. But even then, people will still find where they are eventually and take them out. Or they can send a bomb back to their land home and do a little bit of damage to them, maybe even a lot of damage, but you're not going to stop the invasion. By sending Daniel back, he could at least have the opportunity to stop the invasion. That is for the leap in logic of, oh, they're already here. They're coming. So that must mean that they're knocking on the door at home as well. I've never understood that leap in logic. He has this one line where he's like, oh, I'd say we pissed him off pretty well too, if not more. Like,
yeah,
like it's like, that's like the one line that kind of makes you go, oh, they're coming. Okay. But, you know, basically Daniel goes back with saying, hey, it's not just they're coming eventually. This is they're coming right now and they're really close. And if we don't do something, we're going to go the same. We're going to be in the same situation that universe over there is in, or that Earth is in. So that's what the show is intending to say. Admittedly, it didn't do a good job
at all. Cause I think I still don't buy it. Right. I mean, the show's going to tell me what it's going to tell me and it's going to take us on a path, but watching this, like I said, especially for the first time, you don't know anything.
Yeah.
Here's what I saw. What I saw was the Goa'uld, led by the Jaffa, kicking butt. I mean, no prisoners, just melting through everybody, because we had Top Knot Tilk at the front, just nailing it and being awesome. Guess what? Top Knot Tilk is just cool guy Tilk in our reality. How far back did that set all of the Goa'uld plans for things? What about the fact that they've been to Chulak and they've done other things to the Goa'uld? They got Hathor, who went off, like
Daniel destroyed that whole vat of baby Goa'uld.
Exactly. Like they've made a real impact on the Goa'uld in the reality we've seen. It's a leap in logic that doesn't make sense to say, oh, they're coming, they're right here.
Yeah. What it felt to me like, honestly, is they tried to go with the alternate universe timeline idea that every Star not that every star whatever show does at some point, right? But even the writers themselves didn't fully comprehend exactly how it works. Like they had all the words, it just
didn't work.
Again, the leap in logic, it requires you to kind of see what they're thinking and just sort of go with it, because you know what, we're moving on next week. Like,
Here you go. But next.
This episode, I don't mind telling you, it really sets up this arc here at the end of the season for everything that's happening now.
Because they're coming. They're here. And so here we go.
They are knocking on and that's exactly where we are. Like, we're here. Daniel has this big sense of urgency. He's discovered this thing and he's brought back this little bit of information that they can use, because it's where the planet is. Supposedly, this is going to be the planet that the attack originates from. Only that was in their universe, not ours. So
yeah. So there's no reason to believe that any of it's going to happen, other than it's probably going to happen.
That's how these all these alternate realities work. Is things are different just enough, but everything that needs to be the same for the sake of the plot is still the same. And there's no rhyme or reason as to what's different versus what's changed versus what's the same.
It's so true. I remember, we had the singular mirror episode in the original series, right?
Yeah.
Mirror. That was great. Yeah. And then we didn't see it again, hear about it again, or anything until Deep Space Nine.
Right.
And it was kind of cool.
Season 3 or something. Season 3, Season 4. Like, it was.
And it was kind of cool how they brought it in. How, hey, by convincing Spock of things, you actually weakened all. All the neat little story.
Mm-hmm.
But weird how it's a total different timeline, yet all the same players are in the same place on the same ships.
Don't think about it. Don't think about it.
Got to line up.
I will say this. I didn't notice this until like a couple of watches ago. The SGC in this alternate universe is the SGA.
Yeah, so the sign behind it.
The sign, yeah.
I saw it was painted red. I don't know what that stood for.
I think it's the Stargate Authority.
Okay, yeah.
I think.
Sounds like
which makes sense because it's a little more civilian controlled that way, as opposed to command.
I like, because those are some things I thought were interesting. Like, so you had Catherine, who was, we saw in Tormented Tantalus, we saw in the movie, who was there running the show, civilian. Yeah. We had Dr. Carter, not Captain Carter,
right.
Civilian. And then we had the same Chevron guy going, and he looked like a civilian. He had a tie and everything. Yeah. But at one point, Colonel Hammond says, "Hey, Airman, we need to do this." And he responded. So it's like, okay, for some reason, he's wearing a suit today, but I don't know. I think honestly, that moment, like that situation, hey, Airman wearing some suit that's still going to respond to everything, really describes this episode for me. Like, I'm going to tell you a thing, but I'm going to show you something totally different, and you just need to buy what I told you.
Yep. That's fair. That's incredibly fair.
So there you go. That's my first time reaction on this one. Was pretty much that.
Yeah.
Brent, did you get any sci-fi messages out of this one?
Well, I got one that actually I thought was really neat. And I think it's simply this. There's this conversation between Jack and Daniel, and Jack's about to send the bomb through to Chulak, right? And it really begs the question. I thought this was a very Star Trek type of question. I feel like we probably did see this on Next Generation a few times.
Yeah.
And probably throughout the rest, but it's a question of who is the real enemy. So you have this very real thing. They're in the middle of this invasion, 1.5 billion people dead. The people who are doing the killing, the people who are flying the planes, the Jaffa, we've got their home planet address. Now, it doesn't matter to me at this moment, or at least to Jack, whether or not they're slaves, they're in control, they can do whatever. And Daniel does this pause to go, wait a minute, these guys can't control what they're doing. They're just slaves. And so I think it asked the question, and this was they presented the problem. They threw it out there. They kind of let you see both sides of it. We've seen one side of it through 19 episodes so far. And then we saw the other side of it through a few lines in this one. So we saw that, and it never answered the question to tell you which way was right, which I really enjoyed it. I'm not going to sit here and tell you which one is right. Because Daniel says they're only slaves. They're only slaves. Now, Are the Jaffa slaves? Yeah, but I don't think it's in the same way that we have experienced slavery here on Earth in real life, in real history.
In their culture, it's kind of an honor to be a
Jaffa. Yeah.
Like, you aspire to it, you train for it. And,
but it may be more like a slave, like a mental slaver. Like we've convinced you and you just don't know the truth or something like that. But the Jaffa are still willingly going into battle and willingly doing, and we saw Teal'c. Like Teal'c had a moment where he might have joined, I think, alternate Teal'c, top knot Teal'c. He might have joined, except he's like, yeah, but you just blew up my son, so now I'm blowing you up.
I did love that scene, by the way, because like Jack was like, your son, Ryak, thinking, I got you. I know the thing. And he's like, oh, you mean the kid you just blew up? Yeah, we're done.
Had he not blew up Ryak, had they not sent the bomb through to Chulak, would Top Knot Teal'c have turned the way that Cool Guy Teal'c had turned?
Right?
Maybe. We don't know. That's in another alternate reality.
Yeah, it's happening at the exact same time.
Exactly.
Parallel yet different.
Exactly. The way those parallel universes, I'm not enough of a physicist to be able to talk intelligently about the multiverse. The idea that every choice spurns two new realities, if you either did it this way or you did it that way or whatever it is, and it just infinitely goes on like that forever. I don't know that that's it. Yeah, there might be different types of universes, different types of realities, but I don't know that it's based on decisions we make.
Right. And I don't think, frankly, I don't think it matters. We're not crossing into those other realities.
Right. So anyway, cool sci-fi concept. Like I said, we see it in all the ones, but yeah, this episode, it's a great question you asked there, Jeff, because I cannot recall anybody ever talking about, in all the fan conventions, people talking about episodes. Like, I think the only time I've heard them mention this episode is the fact that the actress who played Catherine appeared in this episode. Because I think she only appears in like three or four episodes. It's like, yeah, she was in that one and she was in this one and that one over there. Like, that's the only reference this episode really gets. So
we get that, and then it's Kemper's first foray into Stargate. That's all the stuff.
Mm-hmm. So with that, Jeff, I guess it comes down to me to rate this one on chevrons. How strong was the message? How much was it in there? I'm going to give this one a 1 chevron. It threw it out there. It was not what the whole show was about. It was not some moral perpetuity, but it was enough of a moment, maybe even 1.5. Like, it was enough of a moment where they stopped the episode and they had the question, and they dwelt on it for a minute and then they moved on.
Told the rest of the story.
Yeah. So 1.5.
Very fair.
So I'm going to give it 1. I'm going to say 1.5 chevrons. Jeff, the question for you is, where are you going to rank this episode in our completely accurate, 100% definitive, immutable show ranking of season 1 of SG1? Oh, I'm going to go from the bottom, Jeff, because I got a feeling you're probably going to throw it down there. Our bottom 5 currently are Fire and Water, The Enemy Within, The First Commandment, Hathor and Emancipation. Ooh, I don't know if this one goes all the way down there or not. Maybe it does. Jeff, you get to decide where you place in this one.
I'm not going to mince words on this one. I did not like this episode. I have a lot of problems with it. And I think what gets me the most in the whole thing is it could have been so cool. Like, let's talk about civilian Carter. Let's talk about General Hammond. Let's get a little bit about General O'Neill, let's talk about those cool. Nope. We're just going to kill him. And then it's going to, I don't know, just set up for whatever. The thing is, did I hate it? Hate it. Wow. It's a strong, did I dislike it more than I disliked Emancipation, Hathor, First Commandment? Whew. Man, those bottom 3 are rough episodes. This one I'm mad at because of plot stuff, but it's not rough. I'm going to make this one our new number 16, right above the First Commandment.
Right underneath The Enemy Within. Yeah, Fire and Water, Enemy Within, that's kind of the line where they weren't great episodes, but they didn't make you mad.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you're in that zone right now of that transition. So I get it.
Fire and Water, it's the sushi one, right? Like, that's It's not a bad episode. It's
just not great. First, I mean, honestly, The Enemy Within, that second episode with Kowalski, it's not that bad of an episode, but it's not good. I'm not going to go rewatch it, like I'm happy to skip it if I'm doing a rewatch, but I'll watch it at the same time if it's on TV or whatever.
Okay, so now we know Goa'ulds can hit people in the neck, and then Kowalski dies in a really cool way. Okay, next.
Yeah, I will say this though: those bottom three that you just named, First Commandment, Hathor, and Emancipation, are probably the only three from this first season that if I were to see them, I would just press channel up or channel down.
Wow.
And I would not stop to watch those episodes. Those are probably the only three for me. A few of these I might keep channel surfing to see what else is there and then kind of come back to it. But
yeah.
All right, Jeff. Well, that is going to put a bow. That's going to put a bun in the oven.
No.
Oh God, I hope not.
Well, maybe because Jack and Sam were engaged, so maybe. No, they got blown up.
We did have that. Oh, we did have that. Jack and Sam got engaged. And did you pick up the new canonized thing about gate travel technology?
That's a good question. That it can be held open.
For how long?
For about 30 minutes. 38 minutes if you're the Goa'uld.
38 minutes. 38 minutes is the maximum time that a wormhole can be sustained between two Stargates.
Cool.
That's canon from here on out. That's the maximum time. So, all right, Jeff, that's going to do it for us for today on Stargate SG1 for the first time. That's it for There But the Grace of God. Would you like to know what we're watching next week?
Yeah.
Or next time? Whatever.
Whenever that is.
Yeah. The name of that episode is called Politics. Politics. All right. Now, I've told you that this episode really sets off this little arc to end the season. And Jeff, I don't even mind telling you, like, this episode to me that we watched today really just feels like it's what they're doing to establish a few things, and that's really the purpose it serves, right? Like, okay, we're in this big thing. All right, so politics. Jeff, I usually ask if you would like to venture a guess, but with this title, honestly, I'm curious. If you think about it enough, and it's really probably not that hard, you might be able to figure it out, or at least get really close to it. So I'm not giving you a choice this week. You must venture a guess as to what this episode could be.
Backed up against a wall. Here I go. I got to figure out politics. Here's the thing. So Daniel says they're coming. They're here. This is going to happen. It's going to be him convincing General Hammond specifically, and then the politics around, hey guys, there's a planetary assault coming. Remember this program over here you're sinking a whole bunch of money into, and you're trying to get, you have your whole intelligence crew coming in? Yeah, we got some real stuff for you. So they're trying to get everything lined up for the big attack.
All right. Well, we'll see next week here on Stargate SG1 for the first time. Thank you guys out there so much for joining us. Please don't forget to like the video, subscribe, share this show with someone that you know who needs to fall in love with Stargate for the first time, or maybe somebody who already loves Stargate and they just want to experience it again for the first time vicariously through my guy Jeff over there. Also, please make sure you leave us a rating and review as you're out there doing things. Places that can do that, like Audible or Apple Podcasts or any of those kind of places. So with that, guys, until next time, we are going to get out of here.
Hey, Brent.
Yes, Jeff.
Do things seem a little bit weird to you right now?
With you, things always seem a little bit weird.
That's true, but I don't know, man. Like, either I'm losing my mind, or maybe this isn't even my world. I don't know what's happening.
Oh, for crying out loud.